It's a culture that has for many years been embraced by many communities across Kenya, a practice that has been a way of life for generations. But a practice whose origins are unknown and benefits remain unproven.
There is no health benefit whatsoever that is going to be associated with the cut. They tend to bleed a lot and they cannot stop the bleeding. And as a consequence of excessive blood loss, they may go into shock, low blood pressure, and many times girls die as a result of this.
But female genital mutilation, or FGM, still remains entrenched in many communities' traditional cultural practices across our country, and every day, thousands of girls are running away from their homes to escape from FGM and early marriages, to go to school and safe shelters.
People cut them for different reasons, depending on the communities. Some do it because they consider it as a passage of rights from childhood into adult. Others do it because they think it is their religion.
There is a qualification of this community. One qualification for you to be a leader. Ukiwa ni mwanamke, you must be circumcised. That's very funny. In order to get married, you must undergo that mission. But hopefully things are changing now, because there is a generation coming up ambayo hawataki zitendo.
Leisemoi was only 11 years old when she got wind of her impending circumcision and imminent arranged marriage to an old man. She did not wait for it. That very same night, under the cover of darkness, she sneaked out of their home, never to return.
When I came to this home, I was in class 6. So I went to a school called Maskonde Primary School, and I was able to complete my primary level. Then I went to high school, and right now I'm in 4th year in Masai Mara University. So they gave me a chance to go to school.
There's no single health benefit that can arise from FGM. If anything, there are several harsh complications that arise out of FGM. So it's something that has to be stopped. So I'm glad that we have a statute, and the statute has prohibited the practice of FGM.
Parliament enacted the Anti-FGM or the Anti-Female Genital Mutilation Act to prohibit the actual act of cutting of the female genitalia in pursuit of cultural practices or whatever purpose that was being practiced. So today, FGM is outlawed by our law.
Although Kenya today has a law against FGM, thousands of helpless girls across the country continue to suffer at the cruel hands of female circumcisers, sadly with the knowledge and permission of their parents, guardians, and the communities. Driven by our vision of a society that respects and upholds women's rights, FIDA Kenya, in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, has been actively working in areas most affected by FGM to create awareness about the dangers of this harmful cultural practice to girls, women, and our communities.
Our role was to first create awareness around the illegality of the culture. Secondly, work with the duty bearers, work with police, work with the chiefs, and remind them of their roles, both legal role and also just their social role and moral role to ensure that they protect the children of this country, or even women who do not want to go through that practice.
Sikuwa najua chochote kuhusu mambo haya, lakini baada ya masomo haya nilipata kuwa na habari kwamba kukeketaji na tohara na ndoa ya mapema sio mzuri. Nimekuwa rejected na community kwa sababu ya kusimama kinyume na mapenzi yao ya tohara. Wao community wanataka kutahiri wasichana, na kwa sababu mimi nimejua ukweli na sheria inakataa.
Judy Sagutun is a native of Pokot in Baringo County, a hotbed of female genital mutilation and early child marriages. She's also a pastor, a community change agent, and today a paralegal courtesy of FIDA Kenya training, and the only hope for hundreds of girls running away from an age-old culture.
Girls have been running to my home. So when they run to my home, I don't chase them back. I help them. I take them to school. We stay with some of them whom their parents are not very hostile, but for those who their parents are hostile, I take them away from the community. Because even if I stay with them, their parents will come for them.
But her work and passion is not for the faint-hearted, especially among her Pokot community that sees girls as a quick source of wealth for the family.
I'm facing a lot of threats because the work I'm doing, it is so risky. You know, for us, girls means cows. So if you take somebody's girl to school, you are delaying the cows to come. So the parents have been threatening that you are taking away our cows. So I've been threatened severally, but I've persevered. So I'm going to fight this fight until I see the end of it.
Working together with Tangul Bay Women Network, Judy's passion, it seems, is not in vain, because today her efforts are seeing more girls being received in rescue centers and many more joining schools. Among these determined girls is Helen Chepto.
Nilisikia ati babangu anataka kunitairiwa. Mamangu alinipeleka kwa Judy siku hiyo usiku. Judy akanipeleka shule. Sasa shule ni nzuri, nataka nisome.
Tulitengeneza mji wa wasichana mahali ambapo tungewaweka ili tuweze kuwasaidia wale ambao wametoroka tohara ili wawe safe kwa nyumba ambayo tuliwajengea, na tukaona hatuwezi jenga nje ya kanisa.
The campaign has also managed to change some of the female circumcisers' way of looking at this age-old cultural practice and persuaded them to engage in alternative income-generating activities.
Lucian muốn cho lấy cỏ là xóa muốn này thế bà muốn tao thì cầm bên lấy sau lo gì tôi xóa chúng tôi có làm như là
Before hii training ya FIDA Kenya tulikuwa tunapata challenges sababu community walikuwa na resist kuwa FGM mpaka iendelee, sababu ndio mtoto aweze hata akimaliza shule hata olewa. Male youth hawakuwa anataka kuoa yule hajakeketwa, lakini baada ya FIDA Kenya kufanya training na tukatrain mpaka vijana, so hiyo mambo wamekubali. Saa hii wanaoana bila shida provided mtu amehitimu umri ya kuolewa.
Indeed, this campaign has recorded a lot of progress, but it seems every new day brings with it a new challenge that sadly has to be tackled.
Mbinu mpya ambao wamechukua kufanya, wanafanya usiku wa manane. Na naona yule anafanyisha tohara analetwa kwa nyumba, anapewa room na lala, alafu kufikia saa 8 ya usiku mtoto anaenda na mwishwa na kukeketwa. Asubuhi hata hakuna mtu anajua kuna kitu kimefanyika, ni wazazi wa msichana ndiye wanajua na yule circumciser.
With the anti-FGM law now also being challenged in court that it's unconstitutional and infringes on individual rights, it seems there's still a lot of work to be done.
As a lead counsel in that case, I see the biggest issue the court will rule is whether if you practice a culture and it's harmful, doesn't the state have responsibility to stop you from performing that culture? So that if today you decide that you want to commit suicide because it is your culture, should the state just sit down and allow you to commit suicide because it's a culture?
For every right, there is a limit if it violates another right. In the right of practicing their conscience or in the right of practicing their culture, a child's right is being violated. So as you promote one right of your religion or culture, you should make sure that you are not violating another right. And that's simply how the law works.